It is Friday though.
Or Friday, as some of the chat times call it.
Friday. What's happening, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah. What's going on, Radio Crew? 6:30 Crew. Tell me how the mix was this morning. Good looking out on listening. FirstSkyOmaha.com. Hit the listen button. Thank you. Thank you.
Tune on in.
Or you can, if you got an Amazon Alexa, you can ask her to turn it on for you too.
What you gotta say? What you gotta say?
Apparently, you say, "Hey Alexa, play First Sky Omaha Radio," and then Alexa says, "You are now getting down with First Sky Omaha Radio."
Sounds pretty funky.
Yeah. Hey, got a good morning from Wanda Lewis. Good morning to you. Also, good morning, Stacey Jean. Good morning, First Sky Omaha family and friends. Thank God it's Friday, she says. Shout out to the Ghost listeners this morning. Got a good show coming for you. Josh Tay, good morning, all. What's happening, my brother?
Hey. If you missed Wednesday's show.
Say what?
I was just saying, if you missed Wednesday's show, we announced we got a special guest coming through today. It's going to be a doozy.
Yeah, that's really real. We're coming up on that announcement in a second. Carolyn Jack gives us a good morning with Purple Heart. What's going on, Purple fam? Brother In Omar Valentine, morning fam. Good morning to you too as well. Thank you very much for getting up this morning. Appreciate everyone. Yeah, doozy of a show today on a Friday, October. Is it the 21st?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
About to be Halloween already.
That's right. And by the way, Halloween is not Dios de Muertos. It's not the Day of the Dead. Apparently, people are getting upset about them trying to dilute it with Halloween, a sacred day with Halloween. So
it's not the same.
It's not the same. No. So anyway, good morning again. Thanks for joining us. We're First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers and ghost listeners coming on through. Really, really appreciate all you guys who are getting up this early in the morning with us. Mama God in the house. Good morning, First Sky fam. Not a doozy of a show. We ready?
Hey.
That's what's up. Yeah, we trying to get ready. We went around here like crazy this morning, man. It's been a rough morning, but we're here, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. We're here. You're here, buddy. How you doing this morning?
Right along with you, man. It's kind of, I think, what was it, Tuesday? Tuesday kind of threw me off, man, and I've been struggling to get back to it ever since. Like we did the impromptu show on Tuesday, and then I woke up Wednesday like, wait, is it Thursday? No, it's Wednesday. And then I woke up yesterday like, I know it's Friday.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I went to the doctor yesterday and got a 3 shots.
Man.
And thinking that was going to be a good thing. The new COVID thing, the COVID shot, a flu shot, and what is it?
Pneumonia?
Pneumonia shot, which is the first time I ever got that one. So I'm going home, going on through work, working the rest of the day and all that. It's all good. About 6, 7 o'clock, I was like, whoa, what's going on? Was not feeling good. So laid down, had all kinds of weird dreams all through the night about time again.
Man, I wonder what that's about. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's about. It's a trip, but yeah, kind of a trip. But it always manifests in the morning when I'm getting ready to get up because I'm thinking, "Oh, I got another day," or "Oh shoot, I'm a day late," or stuff
Right
like
on
that.
time, boss. We right on time.
Josh Tate says, "Have the show every day, problem solved." Oh, okay.
Ah, I see what you're
Yeah,
trying to do.
see what you're doing there. Trying to get back at us. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you very much for coming on through. Yeah, man, we used to do it every day. That was a tough haul
Man,
right there.
that was a thing. That was a thing.
That was a tough
But
haul.
but we are having discussions about how to bring more content to you, how to give you more information, more access, and quite honestly, interview more people, talk to more people.
Yeah,
That's what this is about, conversation with the community. And we only have a limited time, so we'll definitely love to come up with some other ways to bring you some more content. Again, if you have some things that you'd like to see from us, let us know.
yeah, yeah. Let us know. We're always constantly moving and changing. Before you know it, season 5 will be gone. I mean, season 5 will be coming up. Season 4 will be
Man.
gone.
Now, before you
So
said it right, before you know it, season 5 will be gone.
season 5 too, right?
Man,
And we're partnering with other people too to do some more stuff. So now that we're doing that, then we're having a hard time trying to squeeze them in. We got other
man.
segments and stuff we want to work on. So yeah. Oh, here's that post that I was looking at earlier that said that Halloween is not Dia de los Muertos. I don't know why I can't speak this morning. Please stop trying to blur lines. I saw
Mm.
some other ones that were saying, you can go to Target and get stuff for this day. It's supposed to be a sacred day to certain people, and of course it's been commodified and
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
blend in with Halloween. So
Right
not
along with
cool.
all the Juneteenth stuff.
Right? Yeah, that's going. Yeah, yeah. Remember that they made it
Yeah,
a national
yeah.
holiday. Now you can go to
Target,
Walmart,
Walmart,
get
you got the
Juneteenth napkins and stuff.
Juneteenth shea butter, Vaseline.
Oh man, Ariel's 402 over there on YouTube. Appreciate you jumping in on YouTube. Says input output carburetor full of soot. What you want me to do? Mix push freak push in my hoopty. Woo man, you took it back with that hoopty track. I was just reading some Sir Mix-a-Lot stuff the other day, and thinking about how prolific that cat was. They was fly and blinging way before everybody else, bro.
That's what
This
that
kid,
is?
oh man, yeah, man. He
The
had a
mix
track
one.
called My Hoopty. It was dope.
I think I heard that track.
Yeah, man. This
Of
should
course.
have been like the Hoopty Crew theme song.
Hoopty Crew. Hey, shout out to Ike Kid. Shout out to Ike Kid.
Leia Keister gives us a Friday, yay, yay, yay. She really happy it's Friday
Hey, yeah,
today.
yeah. Little Ice Cube. Okay.
What's going on, Leia Keister? You got one of them jobs. If when Friday come along, you make sure you get off 4:30 so they don't ask you to work the weekend, right? You
Right,
can
right,
sneak
right,
out.
right, right. Real excited about Fridays. Y'all get casual Friday at work?
Maybe I don't know. Wanda Lewis says ice cream. What's going on with the ice cream?
Yeah,
All right.
let us know.
Uh, don't know it, but we didn't get a high from Pops yet, so definitely we'll check on Pops, make sure
You
everything's
didn't
cool.
you didn't catch it?
I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
You said something?
on Wednesday he told us that
Oh, that's right. He
yeah,
did.
he has routine doctor appointments for today and Monday.
He
So
did
he'll
say
be
that.
joining us on Wednesday. Definitely, get well soon and best of wishes and luck with all that. And check check on yourself.
I asked him, was he sick? He said he's not sick. He's just going for some routine doctor visits and all that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff.
he said it was routine. So
I'm glad to hear him. I'm glad to hear him doing that. This is what I was going to tell you about Pops before we got on the air, though. He just posted this. I forgot that influential group from back in the day called Camp Low had a hit when they heavily sampled my song "Baby Love." They called the song "Glow." On bass, Louis Johnson of the Brothers Johnson, just sharing a little nostalgia.
hey.
Yes, but so dude, so when Camp Lo came out with that album, Lucchini Falling from the Sky, this is
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
you know me and my boys, my crew was all into that hard, hard, hard. Bought the album, came home, started listening to it. I was like, man, I heard this song, there's another song on there. I heard this song. Where is this song from? And turns out
It's Pops.
it's Pops. And not just Pops, but Pops' first ever written and demoed song. Remember I told you like the first time he ever wrote a song
Yeah.
and Louis Johnson from the Brothers Johnson played on his demo. Well, them cats found that obscure track somewhere and used that for and so we got a link to Camp Low on that album right there. That
Man.
legendary album through
Classic.
Pops' track. Yeah, man.
Classic, man. No, that was a dope album, man. Actually, back in college, I had a professor who basically taught media through a hip hop lens and how, shout out to Maurice Johnson, professor at Florida State and FAMU, man. Definitely a dope professor, changing the game really on how we as a people, as a culture, see media. Definitely a dope dude. But he put me onto we actually sat and listened to the whole Lucchini album or the Camplo album, man. So yeah, that was definitely one of the ones that stuck out to me. And to find out that Pops is, kind of the pen behind some of that. That's dope, man. Shout out to Pops.
Hey, shout out to Ariel's 402, Mira Sanchez, Strawberry Letter 2023, Stomp. I'm talking
Man.
about Brother Johnson songs, man. Not only that, Larry Johnson played on the whole Thriller album, bro, and Off the Wall. Like Larry Johnson and them, the Funk Masters. So if him to have a cat like that play on his first demo, I'm like, man, you was in there.
Oh yeah. Definitely, y'all go check out Pop's books, man. All kind of stories, vignettes, a lot of gems.
That's what's up. Mama God said that's why I pop in at the top of the show to represent while Pops is handling his money issues. All right, that's what's up. All right, Mama God. That's what's up. Appreciate everybody that's coming on in. We definitely have a doozy of a show today. We got special guests, Blue Snitch, that's coming through after the top of the hour. So stay tuned. And even before that, we have another brother that's coming through from Big Brothers Big Sisters organization. Yep. I'm going to talk about some things. And his name is escaping me right this second, but I'm going to grab it because that's ridiculous. Let's see here. I'm gonna get this.
Is it Cynric?
Yes. Cynric Whitaker from Big Bro and Big Sis. They're gonna come through talking about this campaign they got going on. Big Brothers and Big Sisters be doing a lot of good, so I can't wait to hear what they got going on. They got they're trying to find some big brothers out here, and I'm glad they are, man, because I hate to say this, but I feel like the young boys in Omaha, Nebraska get looked over a lot. Every time I hear about some stuff like Anita Hill just came and spoke yesterday, and the Women's Fund helped bring that out. Girls Inc. always brings out people like Michelle Obama. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish there was some more boys programs out there that can show boys more excellence that way as well. And sometimes I feel like they're getting overlooked, and they just happen to be the ones that are young and dying and stabbing each other and shooting right now too, on top of everything. So anyway, I'm glad that all these things are happening for Omaha as a whole, but I would like to see more things go on for young boys. So one step here is definitely Big Brothers Big Sisters coming in and mentoring some young boys as well. So we'll talk to him about his campaign and see what's going on there and all that stuff. So yeah, that'll be interesting. And then also, of course, we've been talking about Blue Snitch like all week. Shook the world, shook up Omaha with coming in with some tweets about corruption in the police department. This is a former police officer herself that has decided to start blowing some whistles. So on Twitter as Blue Snitch, and reached out to us right after we were talking about what was going on there and wanted to be on the show. So she will be on the show a little later on this in the hour here. So stay tuned for that. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor and share the show so we get as many people in talking and asking questions. If you have questions for any of these guests, definitely get them ready and put them in the chat and all that good stuff. So with that, what else we got on the docket for today as far as stories are concerned?
Well, one of the big stories I'm sure a lot of people have chimed in about on social media, the selling of Timeout Foods, a North Omaha landmark. Follow the money. Like, what's going to happen with this landmark? Or is this going to stay, or is this just going to be yet another Omaha business that bites the dust? Or excuse me, North Omaha business that bites the dust.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Also, speaking of restaurants, specifically in North Omaha businesses, there's a Rib Shack that's opening after some tragedy that struck the family, which is kind of the same situation that happened to Timeout Chicken. Again, the owner of Timeout passing, and then the family taking some time off to grieve and things like that, and coming back, but now selling it. But a different fate for Rib Shack Smokehouse. So we'll talk about what's going on with that business as well as we continue to follow the money and support our local businesses.
Cool.
especially minority owned. Also, definitely continuing to watch the situation with the student loan debt relief. The beta website is open. The application is available. However, efforts to block it have not stopped. But the Supreme Court did rule on the situation yesterday, at least momentarily. So we'll talk about that a little later on. I know a lot of y'all looking out for that loan forgiveness. I know I ain't the only one.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Right.
Yeah, I need that. Speaking of forgiveness in dollars, definitely after this conversation, will we be able to forgive our internet providers? Of course, we talked about how important internet is, especially in 2022, but the Associated Press and the markup.org recently released a report titled Dollars to Megabits, saying you may be paying 400 times as much as your neighbor for internet service. Again, we've talked about the inconsistencies with internet services. So we're actually going to dive into some numbers and some data behind it to get a full glimpse of the picture. So again, I'd definitely love to hear from you on that situation. I know a lot of us dealing with internet woes and things like that. So yeah, we'd definitely love to hear your stories. As Paul mentioned, Anita Hill came through the O to talk about oppression, gender-based oppression specifically. So we'll definitely talk about that. And then, of course, we have our special guest coming up. So again, it's a full show, doozy of a show here for the next 2 hours. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that we're not discussing, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. But we're a little late, so let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. Paul B.
Hey.
God, all of you, let's go.
Hey. What up? Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you on this Friday, the 21st of October. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate everybody that's in the chat this morning that got up early. All the ghost listeners, everybody that is chiming in as well. If you're chiming in from Facebook, do us a favor and share the show on your page so that we can get as many people talking as we can. Definitely have a doozy of a show today. If you're on YouTube, really appreciate everybody on YouTube as well. Make sure that everybody is able to speak to, we'll talk about your comments so that you can be a part of this conversation as well. Ariel's 402 says we got 145 subscribers over there. Appreciate that. Buenos dias to Lucia Rodriguez. How are you this morning? Appreciate you very much for joining us as well over there on YouTube. I believe that someone gave us some instructions on how to share the show on YouTube as well. I have forgotten those instructions, so if you know, please let us know again. But we'd love to do that. Also, Anthony Hart is a new name that I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen that name before. Gives us a good morning as well. So thank you, brother Anthony Hart, for coming on in and checking us out. Really appreciate you coming through.
Yeah,
We got a doozy of a show today. A couple special guests coming in. So I definitely want you to stay tuned for those guests because we want to hear from everybody that's speaking today. Cynric Whitaker is coming in from Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I was going to talk about a campaign that's happening with young boys, and can't wait to hear about that. So stay tuned for that. And also, Blue Snitch is coming through. So I don't know if you've heard about what's going on, but there's a person called Blue Snitch on Twitter that is calling out police corruption. Used to be a police officer and saw some things firsthand and wants to come talk about it. So we have Blue Snitch coming on a little later on the show. So definitely stay tuned for that. And we can't wait to talk to her and get the skinny on what's going on. In the meantime, between time, it's me and Buddi3 Da Gawd out here this morning. You, the chat chimers, you, the ghost listeners, you over there on the radio channel. Thank you so much for joining us over there. If you want to hear a celebration of Black music, go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the listen button. And if you can't happen to watch us here on the video, then you can always listen to us over on the show in the morning as well, and then listen to some music afterwards. So thanks again for joining us, buddy. What's on your mind?
We'll kick off today's show with the bombshell that hit the north side, talking about the sale of Timeout Chicken, man. A North Omaha staple. I mean, I've been eating Timeout Chicken for as long as I can remember. And you know, there was a time where we thought we were going to lose Timeout, and a lot of people in the community was reasonably hurt and worried and concerned. But if you remember, Timeout came back with the fury, triumphant. Man, there are lines around that building, lines around the block for days, almost weeks, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And I love to see the support. And I'm continuing to see that concern now that news has been announced that Timeout is for sale. This is an official statement from the restaurant's real estate broker. Timeout Food has been, of course, known as Omaha's best fried chicken. And we know we ask a lot. Where is the best wings? We get Timeout a lot.
We get Timeout a lot, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And has been a staple in the community for more than 50 years. It is a family-owned business and you know, has remained in the family since 1971.
Wow. So before I was born, that's a long time ago. Time.
It is a staple, and you don't really see a lot of mom and pop type situations survive and thrive the way that Timeout has, you know, and that's part of the reason why the price tag is what it is. Too. Again, the real estate listing has the asking price set at $4 million, which is something I do want to discuss with the people because we are looking at, you know, how property value goes up, possibly gentrification in the North Omaha area. I am curious how this, or how, you know, we perceive this will impact those things, especially with people trying to open up other businesses along that corridor. How will that impact things? Again, for that $4 million price tag, you are getting a lot though. So do take that into consideration. It's not just the building that we know of. It's actually 3 lots in that area, 2 buildings. You'll also get the inventory of the business and the recipe.
What?
I didn't know the recipe.
I didn't know the recipe was in that package.
Yeah, man, you get the famous fried chicken recipe from the family, and like I went like down. I'll give you just a glimpse. I went to the Coca-Cola factory here in Atlanta. They have like a they probably spent $4 million on the vault for the recipe.
Yeah,
you know, just to put that in perspective. So yeah, it's $4 million. How do we feel? I just put it like this. How do we feel about that price tag?
It's a good question. I definitely want to put it out to the chat. I actually put a post up on Friends of First Sky Omaha talking about this because, of course, we're gathering information from everywhere, and everybody's talking about this on Facebook, Twitter. You know, this is a huge North Omaha. This is some huge North Omaha news in a big way. Timeout is not just a staple in North Omaha and famous to us. It's famous all over the world. It's a world famous restaurant. If people who know about Omaha are told to come to Timeout, definitely. Josh Tate says, in the brand itself, addition to the steady customers, right? So if you got the recipe and the brand and the branding, and you can keep the legacy of Timeout rolling, then you should be very successful. I've never seen this business not successful.
Right.
You, like I said, I was living down the street from it when they closed and reopened, and there was cars out in front of my house in line 2 blocks away. So
I'll put it like this, man. We were working, you know, minus soul days. We were working at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, which is literally right up the hill. And the traffic was so crazy, we had to go alternative routes to get to work.
That's true. Yeah. So, you know, it's there. Mama God said the recipe is the business. That's what sets them apart. But here's what I was thinking about when I posted what I posted. I wasn't surprised by a $4 million asking price. I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised was a whole lot of people that were like $4 million for that place. There's a lot of attitude in North Omaha from a lot of people that were like, good luck on getting $4 million for that place, like as if it's not worth it. I only talked to 2 or 3 people that came in like that's real estate wise on 30th Street, 2 buildings, 3 lots. That's on a street that is constantly getting revamped and new things built on it. It's not a bad asking price, and I had no idea that they were also selling the legacy of Timeout and the recipe.
Come on, man.
So
again,
yeah,
Coca-Cola probably spent $4 million on the vault for their recipe.
Bro, you try to get KFC's 11 herbs and spices recipe.
Man.
Never do it. That's the intellectual property. That's the thing. And here's the thing about that though. The recipe, to me, the recipe is not even as worth as much as the name timeout is.
Mm.
The legacy of the joint is even bigger than even the recipe. But if you can keep the legacy by keeping all the recipes and the name, you'll make that money back in the next year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do think timeout could survive if they change the recipe. I mean, some people have asked, like, change the recipe. We do know over the years the recipe has somewhat changed. It's not quite the original timeout that a lot of us remember.
yeah.
But yes, that's your point. And also, I'm thinking of proximity. Like, you can make a pretty good, give it 3 years between Juneteenth parades, Omaha days.
Right.
You're gonna be eating.
It's not even that. It's not even that, man. Like the thing about timeout is that they are all year round, packed all the time. People come from far and wide, all sides of Omaha, all races of people
Oh yeah.
come through for that. And it's not just the recipes and the stuff and all that. It's also the ease of getting lunch. It's also just the
Convenience.
the convenience, the way that they had the kitchen just humming and all that stuff. It was you can run through and come. People were actually, I remember coming through for lunch, especially working up the street of Timeout of Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. Timeout would be like packed with people from the city. City workers will stop in there and they're working on the road and stop and come in and get food. Police officers. So it was one of them places where you can come in and get food fast, not spend your whole hour waiting on a meal. You know what I'm saying? So they got lots of traffic. Jumping in the chat real quick. Ariel's 402 says money will leave the community. Yes. I definitely think that if this business closed down like that, like if nobody does come and continue this legacy of the spot, that's just another piece of the puzzle as far as money leaving the area.
Oh yeah.
Josh Tate says the brand itself, in addition to steady customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
God said the recipe is the business. That's what sets them apart. Ariel's 402 says Mexicans and Asians have money to spend. Talking about bringing some other groups in to buy up. I know that a brother who does wangs and things, Smoking Doja, was talking yesterday about it. He was like, they ought to open up the timeout again right there, and then the building that they have next to it, open up a taco shop right there. Have some other groups come in and pay for it and do it.
Speaking of that, I have seen a few people actually on Facebook specifically, kind of jokingly, but it did kind of have my ears perk up as far as the possibility of the Abelardo's guy buying it, and we had him on the show, and so we kind of heard it from him exactly how aggressively he's expanding. What I think he said, like almost 3 or 4 dozen franchises, and
two a year for the last 2 years. So he's been killing the game.
It's been longer than that.
Well, I'm talking about the speed at which he's opening them up now. He's opening up 2 a year for the last 2 years.
I mean, that's aggressive. Even that.
Yeah.
It's very aggressive. So yeah, is that a possibility? I can see that happening. Hopefully not. I do hope that this stays a timeout. I do hope that this does stay a timeout. But even if it doesn't, I just hope it remains a restaurant, because you're thinking about the convenience and you're talking about how easy it is to get food. I'm thinking about the quality of life in that area. Although fried chicken and fries isn't the most healthy thing, if that's no longer a restaurant, think about the whole as far as just food choices in that area that will leave.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. But I'm also thinking about the construction and stuff that's going on up the street. That's Highlander. 30th Street is where Highlander's at. You come down the street, they got this learning center.
Spencer,
You're coming down the street even further, and now there's some kind of prime. There's some pretty prime real estate that's up for sale right there, and who knows if they would bring a restaurant back in that area? Don't know. Mama Goss in the chat says it's like Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Yeah, it's timeout is Omaha's Roscoe's. Ariel's 402 says in restaurants and send the money back home. Mexicans and Asians have money to spend in restaurants and send the money back home for sure. Josh Tate says it honestly seems priced to sell to someone who would open locations in other areas. Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot to this. I figured that there would be a lot being said here. Again, if you're on Facebook, share the show. Let them know that we're talking about this timeout issue right now because a lot of people have been chiming up about it, and I'm really anxious to hear what everybody has to say and hear what they have to say about it. Um, I do know you have to be in a prime position to come up with 4 mil to
Mhm.
put down on something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who would do that.
Well, I wonder what the down. I'm sure you don't have to have just a full 4 mil on hand. I wonder what the down payment for something like that would
I don't
be.
think it works like that. It don't work like down payment. This is the family that's selling this situation here, and they selling their recipe and their name. I'm sure they're gonna want. I
You
mean,
think they
you
want it in full?
get it financed, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you gonna be making no payments to the family on this. I will say though that I talked to a couple of mentors of mine and a couple of businessmen too, and they were just like, and that people that may be able to do something to take it over, and they were just like, can't see it.
Hmm.
Just can't see the feasibility. Can't see it. Because who's your customers? What area are you in? Like timeout. Like you said, one thing about Omaha, I will say, if you've been doing something long enough, then it becomes a staple. But before that, if you introduce something new,
Oh yeah, it's a struggle.
it's a
Slippery slope.
struggle. So the fact that they've been open since 72, 71,
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why they're iconic in this area because people knew the family. That's the reason why. You know what I'm saying? And so who knows if anybody can even recreate that whole scene. And because basically you're really dependent on the neighborhoods around you to sustain you. So who knows if that is, and you know how fickle we can be about stuff like that.
Yeah,
Coming in,
yeah.
that recipe be off a little bit, nah, it ain't even good no more.
It ain't the same. It ain't the same.
I mean,
No,
look
that's
what
a good
you know.
point.
I remember coming out here in when I was a teenager and going to Joe Tess on Ames. When I moved back out here, I was like, "Where? What happened to Joe Tess?
Oh yeah.
Gone."
Oh yeah. And even before then, like they changed their recipe and the type of fish that they serve. So it was like, that's not the same. I can't tell you the last time I've been to Joe Test, even before it closed.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying.
but you made me think of a glaring question that we haven't asked in this whole conversation, as far as how viable it possibly is. It like, why did the family sell in the first place?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I'd love to have a member of the family on. Like I said, they had a death in the family. The guy who was running it,
Mm-hmm.
they shut it down for a while to deal with that, and they came back to see if they wanted to continue. And I can understand. They was a hard working family in there, man. I can,
Oh yeah.
they got a chance to go ahead and get out.
Man, I
I
mean, I
blame
know
'em.
a couple people who's like my lunch lady in school that was working there. Like when you say like people knew the family and it was really like a community spot, that's real. That's real. So I could definitely see it losing support if somebody comes in from outside the community, as I believe Ariel's 402
Or
or
Josh
Josh Higgs
Hicks.
said about opening the other locations and begin to corporatize and franchise it. Yeah, I could see people kind of shying away from it.
That's what Wanda Lewis is saying right now in the chat. Don't be surprised if a philanthropist buys it, tears it down, and builds an apartment building.
I mean, that's
You
what
know
they
what I'm
doing
saying?
across the street.
Well, these apartment buildings that they're building now are kind of like how Highlander will have the coffee shop at the bottom or whatever.
Mm.
They might have a food joint, but at the bottom.
It's a big enough
So
lot.
right, but it ain't gonna be timeout. Anybody who really cares about timeout, I don't know if anybody would come in and actually make a new timeout. Mama Guy says she has a serious
Mm.
question. If timeout chicken recipe changes to something totally different, will former customers still patronize the new timeout with a new different taste, even if it's in the same spot?
Sounds like we're saying probably not.
So, I mean, there's a big possibility that they won't, and so you have to really look at what the demographics are around you. You have to look at your customer base and your customers. Can North Omaha, can people that live in North Omaha sustain businesses? You know what I'm saying? Do we frequent enough in order to sustain certain things? We got a lot of stories about stuff that did get sustained, but we got a lot of stories of stuff that didn't get sustained.
Man, actually, let's go ahead and transfer, and that's a good segue to the next story. It's within the same vein, something that is looking to sustain another restaurant in the community. Talk about Rib Shack Smokehouse.
Yeah.
Again, they kind of similar situation to Timeout. There was a family loss, a tragic loss of their son, and they weren't sure if they reopened. But according to KMTV3, Cerise Cole first met Jackie and Malcolm Sr. when she featured their restaurant in Takeout Tuesday. Um, and they moved here to Omaha because Malcolm Sr., who's the proprietor, had a heart transplant. And on top of that, they were facing all challenges that restaurants around the country have been dealing with, of course, with the pandemic and the loss of their son. But on Thursday, Rib Shack Smokehouse will hold a ribbon cutting ceremony to reopen. That's at 4:30 p.m. So again, that was yesterday, but it's at 108th and Q Street. The ceremony will be held alongside the Miller Business Association. But another minority-owned business in our community. I actually have heard some good things. I think they were interviewed. I want to say I think Bill King had them on and interviewed them, and I caught that interview. They kind of told their story a little bit. Definitely captured my attention. A business and a restaurant that I plan to check out when I come back to Omaha. Ariel's 402 in the chat says Rib Shack is in Ralston. Okay.
Yeah.
Not Belton. Okay.
Q, 108th and Q. Yeah, it was it's funny because Bill King has been really pushing them for a long time. As a matter of fact, I only heard about them on 95.7 The Boss, the Rib Shack. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even, because I don't really hang out that way too much. I didn't really know about them, but Bill King and 95.7 The Boss is the one that really that had them consistently had commercials on there all the time. And that was what was up. So, and every time I'm like, yeah, I got to get out there to that Rib Shack, man, check that joint out. So I'm glad they're back in action. But yeah, they had to, they had to fight. It was a fight, like you said. They went through some things, pandemic, all kinds of stuff. We also got to think about their location. The location is not in the heart of North Omaha. Their location is in a more traffic filled area. They don't have a whole lot of competition with that kind of food out there. And
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's where my mind is. And that's why I wanted to add this story into the conversation, because you're just talking about, look at the area, look at the viability, look at the customer base. Let's just be honest and look at it. So you got one restaurant that's in the heart of North Omaha. You got one that's out in Ralston. And my question or my thought is it fair? Is that a fair question, or is that a fair statement? Like, I don't know about the viability in North Omaha, the community. Like, we are North Omaha, you know what I'm saying? So what does that say about us? And what can we do to change that mentality or to change that? Because I've heard that a lot. Again, we were having conversations for a majority of this year to look at what to do with this money that's coming into North and South Omaha. Again, hundreds of millions of dollars coming into the community. And one of the main holdups is, I don't know if we can bring this business, but will people support it? And we always talk about the outside things and, all of the things that we're against, you know what I'm saying, to kind of pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But I am thinking, like, let's look in the mirror with that statement. Like, what can we do? What does that say about us? What can be done to change that?
Well, let me put this out there too, because I've been saying this for years too. When I first got in town, I took a data job, and I understood a lot about the demographics and things that were going on. And what I realized, in comparison to where I'm from, we just don't have the numbers. So we can't always blame it on whether or not we'll support something, because we do. We'll wrap a line around the corner trying to get some time out. But it's the problem is that there's not a whole lot of, there's only really 50,000. The last statistics that I looked at, there was only 50,000 black people in North Omaha, and that's in Omaha, the whole city, I should say.
Metro area.
The metro area. Omaha is a big mix of black and white and immigrant and Asian and everything else. So, you're talking about a lifestyle, way of life, a kind of food. Somebody came to town one time and asked me, where's the soul food at North Omaha? And at the time I couldn't really tell them, because I wasn't aware of Get and Go and places like that quite yet. So I would direct them to Time Out, and Time Out is not exactly a soul food restaurant. They was doing chicken and burgers and stuff like that. By the way, I'm crying about the burgers.
Man, Big Bob.
The burgers is what was the secret thing at Time Out, man. I stopped eating the chicken a while back. It was the burgers. If I had an inkling to go get a good burger somewhere, man. So
Big Bob.
That's what I'm sad about. Rest in peace, Big Bob, boy.
Man. Man.
But anyway, yeah. So there's a lot to this. I think we do support Stessie Jean in the chat said timeout changed from when I was a kid. They used to serve batter dip chicken. That was like in the mid-70s.
Mm,
So it did. So they've gone through some changes with the recipe.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. The recipe is one thing. It's really the legacy. The
yeah.
legacy is the sell
I
and the
mean,
property.
even when they closed the first time, the last time they just reopened, the recipe changed a little bit.
Did it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that. But anyway, yeah, I think that 30th Street location is a prime location. Like you said, it's one of the only places you can buy food in that area. Number one, something should work over there.
Oh
Now,
yeah,
yeah. Now, again, who has $4 million to go take it over? That's
is
the
the
real
question.
question.
Is the question.
Yeah.
I just had an idea. What based on that question, and I know it's a little behind the ball as far as the application for the Recovery Act funds. But is this something that as a community we can buy? Could this be a community owned, employee owned type situation?
Man, I mean, I think that yeah, I mean, yeah, we're talking business model.
Yeah,
If we came up with the money to buy it, they don't care what business model we would use. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Tonight Patterson says it will get way more in TIFF, which I think is pretty interesting.
yeah. I mean, we're talking close proximity to downtown, close proximity to the airport, close proximity to the interstate.
Right.
A lot of development going on around it. I mean, it's prime realty.
Yep. It really is. Like Keisha said, first guy if believe in the concept of timeout chicken. Burke says timeout co-op. Yeah. Yeah, we do believe in the concept of timeout chicken.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
we
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I got music videos shot at timeout, man.
yeah.
It's a classic, man.
It's an Omaha staple. It really is. Like I said, they selling the legacy, man. But even before I even thought about legacy or recipe, I thought two buildings, 3 lots on 30th Street, North Omaha, on the thoroughfare that way, and you put a couple of food places there, you kill it. You can kill the game. That's not a bad investment for $4 million. The
Mm-mm.
only thing that caused me pause was the area always causes me pause every time I think about any kind of retail in the area because for the retail to work in the area, we have to have people from outside the area come in and frequent. That's
And
just
that's
what it is.
and that's possibly what, to be honest, possibly what has kept timeout, up for
Yeah.
71. I mean, you go in there a lot of times. I think you go in there. Most of their consumers are construction workers. A lot of construction workers. Um, coming in on their lunch break.
Yeah. That's what I'm
A lot
saying.
of people from outside of the north coming from downtown on their
Creighton,
lunch break.
right. Creighton, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
there's a lot. Carolyn Jackson says can't help but thinking about Broncos and Mr. C's though. Yeah, man. Mr. C's is a legendary spot that closed down. We got a lot of spots that's closed down, man. Stage 2, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of spots that are not doing it anymore. Broncos is way before my time. They left town. They left that side of town way before I moved here.
Man. Yeah, I
So
mean, of that area, the last stronghold is that car wash. And they've been trying to buy that guy out for years.
right.
And he's holding on. But that's kind of when you put it like that, man, Omaha, North Omaha, as I know it. It's
I
no
mean
more, man.
that's the
And it's
real
sad.
that's the real thing right there too that I'm thinking about. Like you got landmarks. So you got landmarks for certain areas. Landmarks. And timeout is an absolute landmark. So is stage 2. So is Jesse's place.
Man.
So you know what I'm saying? Like what we're watching is really kind of like the landmarks that are leaving. Um, we're seeing some new things built. Love's Jazz was a landmark. We're seeing some new things built, like the Noma and like
Yeah.
I would say Fabric Lab is a new
Culture
thing
House.
built. Culture House is a new thing. So there's new things being built. But where's the food spots, the food spots and stuff like that? Where's the spots that you would frequent daily? Where are they at? What happened to Fairdale Cafe? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
What
mhm.
so and this we're just talking about like the later years here, earlier years there was so many places and so many things going on in the 70s and 80s and early
Oh
90s.
man. Mm.
that's been gone, you know. So anyway, yeah, Skeets, Matoyers,
Latoya.
I'm sad. Carolyn Jackson, I'm sad. Right. We all go out. We all go out of the area to eat. We all go somewhere else to eat. Rest to go to the restaurant. We all go somewhere else to go to bars. We go somewhere else. That's just all there is to it. I was thinking about the last time I went to hung out at the bar. I was at the Strut. Strut is not in North Omaha. It's in. We can call it North Omaha. It's kind of in North Omaha,
Nah,
but not
man.
really. Right,
Nah,
right. Anything
man.
above 72nd Street
It's
is
not. Oh, that's not North Side. Come on.
right, right. So, but it's black owned. So, and we don't think nothing about driving out there. So, anyway, 7:46 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, and if you believe in the concept of timeout, come up with 4 mil. We can make them happen.
Let's save it. Let's save it, man.
Yeah.
Losing my community, man.
We do have we got a special guest that's coming on here pretty soon. So just waiting on that brother from Big Brothers and Big Sisters to come on through, and then of course we have Blue Snitch in the
Man,
house
man.
coming on through here a little bit later as well. So stay tuned for that. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor, share the show, share the show. You don't want to miss this interview. We're definitely happy to be able to facilitate that. So Wanda Lewis, just to get off the subject here, says, let's pray that a vehicle doesn't run into the building suspiciously
Man, or it
like other
burns down.
like other brick and mortar buildings on 30th. Yeah. Yeah, so that's will be the first sign. The car will run into timeout, and then 2 days later it'll be on fire, so some kind of way, and
Man,
then the next thing you know, we got an apartment complex. So it is what it is. Juan Lewis really suspicious. Hey, I share that. I got a theory about it myself. How many times? How many? I've never been in the city where people run into buildings so frequently. I don't understand what that is. Even what was? How do you run into vacant buildings on accident? I don't get it.
man. Or a building that nobody's even in or supposed to be in. Just goes up in smoke
Oh
frequently.
my goodness. We'll take a quick break and come right back, and then we'll jump into a little bit of story while we wait on our next guest. Thanks for joining us and chiming into the chat. Don't move. Again, we'll be right back, and don't forget we got some special guests in the house. You want to stay tuned for that, and an extensive haps a little later on today too, since it's Friday. So she said, no one ever gets hurt or caught or hurt, right?
Right.
So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners. You guys are talking amongst yourselves about what happens when the people start running into buildings and burning them down. All of a sudden,
Man.
it's a sale. It's a fire sale going on. And they're selling up a bunch of stuff. Thanks for joining us again. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, and we are here with some special guests that are coming in. Oh, Hood Table's in the house. The Hood Table says,
Hey.
good morning and happy Friday. Good morning to you as well. Hood Table does their live broadcast on Friday nights. So if you're around, definitely check them out a little later on tonight. We're gonna also be on the show at some point, maybe like next week. Let's hook it up, Hood Table, and we'll hook it up, and me and Buddy come on a little bit on next week, and maybe you can come on to the show Friday morning with us as well. Do a little cross promotion on the shows, but definitely check out the Hood Table on YouTube. They go real deep. To the point they know a lot of the people that are in the news and stuff that's going on, and they're talking to folks and talking to families and having a good time doing it. So definitely check out the Hood Table. It is an adult show. They're going to talk about things the way they want to talk about them. So just keep that in mind if you got kids around or whatever. But sometimes the kids need to hear it raw. So check it out, check them out on YouTube, and hit the bell so that whenever they got a live broadcast coming on, you'll know when they're coming on. You can go check them out. And when we do it too, man. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit that bell and let us come on through when we're ready. So anyway, moving along, we're waiting on one of our guests to come in, but before we do that, Buddy, let's jump into a couple another little conversation here before we get going.
Yeah, I got a couple lined up, man. And real quickly, I do want to mention something that could be coming down the pipe a little later on. This is some activity that one of our chat chimers had made us aware of. Shout out to Conversations with Cheryl Weston. I'm sure you see that name in the chat a lot, and I just want to bring it up because we're talking about property, we're talking about land, we're talking about North Omaha, we're following the money, and she is asking some questions about the land bank, and actually sent us CC'd us in a document that she sent to Secretary of State, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Asking him to investigate, or asking the office to investigate the land bank. We've had many conversations about the land bank here on the show. I'm kind of waiting on a response to see if they will launch an investigation or what's going to happen before we really jump into that conversation. But yeah, that's happening. That's happening. I want to mention that.
There you go. Yeah, definitely check out Cheryl Weston. She's also on YouTube as well. And really talking, got some things to say about what's going on. She's a couple shows under her belt now about the land bank, keeping a close eye on what's going on there. It definitely should be in the conversation when we're talking about land and property and ownership of North Omaha for sure.
Yeah.
I do not believe the BAA, the Black Agenda Alliance, bought land through the land bank. I think they bought it on their own.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So in the first indication of that was that they bought 8 acres, which I haven't even seen any land bank land that was attached to that much acreage. It's always a lot here or this and that. So
even if they do have 8 acres in one lot, they'll break it up into different parcels, and you'll have to buy multiple parcels from them. I did go to a land bank meeting a couple times while I was covering the land bank initially a couple years ago for the Reader. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how that conversation is still going. Shout out to Cheryl Weston, and shout out to all the chat chimers, all of the people that's mobilizing and doing other things. I love seeing people who watch this show, who engage in the show chat, going off to do their other things, because that's what we want. We want the conversation to continue, not just here, but again, there's connections, there's people that we can't reach. So again, conversation rules the nation.
Most deaf.
Keep it going. But as we prepare for our guests, speaking of conversations ruling the nation, I do want to pivot a little bit, but keep it in the same vein as talking about development and in the Omaha area. And we'll talk about, when our guest comes on, investing in people and the mentorship and just the relationship building that Big Brother Big Sister offers. But it looks like the city of Omaha is investing more so in the edifice, if you will. Again, the city of Omaha is seeking community input of the development of a master plan meant to improve walking and bicycling conditions. Again, we're still talking about the bicycle lanes. In Omaha. 2 open houses are scheduled for next month. So I do know some people are engaged, not just in bicycle lanes, but just mobility in the Omaha area. The events are meant to inform and engage community members on the Connect Omaha Active Mobility Master Plan, which is a plan to develop a vision for a more complete and connected network for walking, bicycling, and other active mobility travel modes, serving all areas of the city. I know, Paul, you kind of gave a little insight on your experience with travel, and I know my man Aggie Kid too, when y'all both went out to Metro out in, what was it, Papillion or Elkhorn? Elkhorn, and just the difficulties of getting way out there if you live in North Omaha and you're trying to get an education at that campus. Once completed, the plan will propose or prioritize improvements, including trail corridors, on-street bicycle facilities, sidewalks, crossing upgrades, what have you. It also will make recommendations focused on making walking and bicycling safer, more comfortable, and more convenient. The first actual open house will be at the venue at Highlander. So again, right there in the heart of North Omaha. That's 2120 North 30th Street. Again, 2120 North 30th Street. That's from 5 to 7. And then also on November 10th at the Barbara White's Community Engagement Center at UNO campus. That's 6400 University Drive. So again, one will be on November 9th, and then the following will be on November 10th. The first is at the venue at the Highlander, and the second is at Barbara White's Community Engagement Center.
Gotta definitely talk about these things. We definitely have some bike riders and some walkers in the chats. Some of the chat chimers are definitely involved in these activities. So just want to give you that information for you to go out and represent where you need to represent too. Tanaya Patterson in the chat says, "I hope it ain't the same people planning who came up with the reverse diagonal parking." Where is that at?
What?
Wanda Lewis says, she's talking about the land bank. She says, land that has that many acres usually goes to Habitat or Holy Name. Yeah, talking about 8 acres of land. Right, exactly. Got a good morning from Chrissy Knorr. Good morning to you as well. Erica Felt gives us a good morning.
Hey.
How you doing, Miss Erica Felt? Are you feeling okay? I heard you said you was going to take some pain meds today. They got you loopy. What's happening? Don't get kicked off. Don't get in Facebook jail. You know how you do. You know how you do. She be locked up. The hood table's over in on YouTube saying thank you. And yes, we have no topics off limit conversation every Friday night at 9 p.m. And can't wait till you guys join us. Yeah, we can't wait to have you on as well. So
looking forward.
Definitely check out the hood table Friday nights at 9 o'clock on YouTube. And yeah, she says, yeah, I'm not finna comment much. Miss Erica Felt. Yeah, she on them pain meds, so she gonna get ready to get in Facebook jail saying something crazy.
Man, a little loopy.
But you can say what you want to say here on First Sky Omaha. You know that.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you. Let us know how you doing, how you holding up, how you feeling. For those of you that don't know, Miss Erica Felt is one of the chat chimers and a friend of First Sky Omaha, going through some stuff right now, and is having to do some chemo and some things like that. So she's a single mom and runs a business. Definitely help her out. We'll put the meal train back up online, or you can hit her up on her Cash App. Help her pay some bills around there, and while she gets through this hard time. But I'm kind of glad that you on the pain meds there. I know you were fighting that, but I'm kind of glad because if you're painful, I hate to hear and feel like you in pain, and so I'm glad that you handling business and everything's cool. And again, don't be driving around too much. Let somebody give you a ride and all that. So
take it easy.
If you're a friend of First Sky Omaha in the chat chamber, definitely hit her up on her Cash App, hit her up on the Meal Train site so that we can make sure that she gets through this hard time. Didn't mean to jump off the topic there. Just want to kind of jump in the chat real quick. Thank you.
Wanda Lewis.
Yeah, appreciate Wanda Lewis for putting her Cash App address in there. Definitely hook her up. Appreciate that very, very much. But anyway, yeah, back to this thing. Manny About Town hit me up talking about they're going to do something tomorrow. We'll talk about it in the Haps. But they're going to be planting trees on that new North Omaha Trail, and that thing is coming up. And so there's they're doing a lot of bike riding and walking and stuff on that trail out there. They're really kind of utilizing it, and I think it's I think it was a good thing. In the end, it's turning out to be a pretty good thing that they have this and they're able to do it. They're going to beautify it up and all that good stuff. So.
I'm glad you brought up Manny because that's kind of why I framed the story and set it up the way I did. As far as again, we'll be talking with Big Brother Big Sister about the investment in people and relationships and mentorship. But you and Manny had a conversation, and you bring this up a bit about again, we're talking about what will bring people to North Omaha. I'm still thinking about the viability of Time Out. You know what I'm saying? Versus having a business out on 108th and Q. And I think of this transportation like that could aid to that as far as making it easier for people to come in and out of Omaha to be able to support businesses alongside the people that actually live in that community. But I'm also I'm kind of lost my train of thought.
You went off on your own tangent.
Yeah, I did.
Manny and I got into a really heated conversation.
Yeah, that's it.
A few years back that really kind of solidified our friendship, to be honest, about what brings people to North Omaha. Do you build it and they will come, or do you build housing first, or do you build restaurants and things that people want to come to from outside of Omaha first, so that the community can get built up? Which one is which?
Mm-hmm.
So my And just to let you know, my side of the argument has always been you build up the restaurants and the art galleries and this and that, so people want to come to the area first. Then they'll be looking to move there at some point and not move there first where there's nothing but housing and you still got to drive out of town to go do something. You know what I'm saying? Like he was on the housing tip at the time, saying that we need more housing in the area. I don't know. That was a few years back, 3 4 years ago. So I don't even
Mhm.
know where he's done so much work now. He's all over the place with it. We got to talk about it again. But you were bringing it up because you were talking about walking and bike trails and getting to some of these businesses and so on, right?
Right, right, right. Now, thank you for reminding me. But yes, that's where I was going, and I want to ask you specifically. And again, like you said, that was a couple years ago. About your take on it. Like, how do you feel about the beautification and the look of things and the impact that it has? Should the city of Omaha, should that be the focus, or should we be investing more in people specifically?
I always think we should invest more in people. If that's ever the question, it'll be people first. My answer all the time. Now, what I have changed a little bit from this standpoint before because here's what I'm thinking about moving people in the area first. I do think that people like us who care about the area and want a chance to live back in that area should have a chance to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to modify what it is that I was saying before about having attractions there, having things there that people want to come to. Because if you have attractions there and stuff people want to come to, then people from other places will come and populate the area instead of the people that are already there or the people that got displaced from other stuff like that. So I would say that it all needs to happen at the same time. We need to be beautifying the area, we need to be bringing up business in the area, and we need to be moving back to the area all at the same time. That's where I'm at now. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, no, no, it definitely makes sense, and I agree. You can't necessarily have one without the other. It definitely all has to be in tandem. Just kind of more so wondering what should be the priority, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely agree. People first, man. People
Yeah,
first. None of the edifice or none of it works without people.
that's right. Hey, I just want to let people know it's 8:02 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we will have Blue Snitch on at 8:10. So if you're looking to find out when that conversation is going to happen, get your questions ready, get set. 8:10, we will bring Blue Snitch on and have a very deep conversation. We'll talk a little bit about how she even came on our radar and stuff like that before we talk to her. But get ready for that. Share the show on your page if you're on Facebook and definitely let everybody know that conversation is going to happen. Just want to give a good morning to Kimra Snipes. What's good in the hood, Miss Kimra Snipes? She says, "Good morning, y'all. How you doing? Really appreciate you coming on in this morning." Mama Guy said, "It is speaking of timeout. It wouldn't even be a prudent business decision to spend $4 million to purchase that property and not do everything you can do to utilize the land over. That would not. I think she was saying be prudent somewhere. Where was that at?
Yeah, I don't see the rest of the chat, but
Yeah.
it's a good
Um,
point. I
yeah.
was looking at the building next door. Like, what are they doing with that?
We've been wondering that for years. I didn't even know they own that. That's
Right,
really
right.
interesting.
It was
Um,
I want to say it was a tobacco hut. Like that was like the last thing I remember it being was a tobacco hut.
right. Wanda Lewis says they're trying to knock out two birds with one stone by inserting venues on the lower level of living spaces. Very true. Very true. Yep. Yep. So, yeah, well, cool. We'll definitely we'll move on, move in. We'll keep this on. You know what happens with us is we come across a topic and then it's an evergreen topic and we keep
Oh
talking
yeah.
about it. And I think this is one that's we're gonna be talking about until the sale or demolition of whichever one comes.
I mean,
Time
after
out chicken, right?
we'll always be talking about this, man.
Yeah, even after you read about that. Wanda Lewis says it was originally Dairy Queen when I was a child. That
I
looks
do
like a
remember.
Dairy Queen.
I remember when it was a Dairy Queen. That was actually like the first Dairy Queen I probably ever went to. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a Dairy King at some point?
I never heard of a Dairy King. It's always been the Queen, bro.
I feel like at some point it might be, it might be a Mandela effect. Man, I feel like there was a queen and a king at some point. I might be tripping.
Here's that flyer. We'll talk about this a little bit more in the haps. But North Omaha tree planting is happening from the Fabric Lab Saturday, October
Mhm.
22nd. It's going down. So he's like, yeah, get up in the morning, get up Saturday morning and go do the thing, man, and help with some of that. You know, they'll have coffee and baked goods and all kinds of stuff, and
Yeah.
Preston Love is involved. North Omaha Legacy Tours, free bike and soccer and scooter rides, tree planting. So yeah, lots to happen to beautify that little area. That's pretty cool.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. About the beautification, and it looks like we're not going to have our guest from Big Brother Big Sister coming on.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any word yet, so if they're not here, then probably not. But
okay, but I wanted to ask you about this because I was building up to that point in the conversation. As far as, okay, you brought up the beautification area, but we just established it's probably more important for investment in people. And this Big Brother Big Sister program is definitely all about that. I'm actually kind of looking at some of their impact statistics, and you know, we talk about juvenile justice. We're talking about the mental health facilities that's opening up in the community, the new juvenile justice system, of course, the sheriff's race, which is attached to that. All these conversations are relevant. But I wanted to ask you, because you are in conversation with bringing them on the show, as far as the significance of Big Brother Big Sister and what did they, you know, want to push.
Yeah, like I said, I was going to leave it up to them to be able to talk about that. But yeah, it was a program that I think they're trying to get so many big brothers in line for so many kids at a certain point. This campaign they were running, so we'll definitely get more information on that if we don't have them come in, or we'll have them come in on another day. So yeah.
Okay. Were you ever a big brother, or big, a big or little?
I was never a big or a little.
Okay.
Never had a pretty big family, so I didn't really.
Didn't need to.
A lot of uncles, a lot of yeah. Yeah, I'm Paul Allen the fourth, so I had pops, gramps, great gramps, all the uncles. Right. I just want to jump in the chat real quick. They were talking a little bit earlier about Omaha had a dairy. Oh, she said Omaha had a Dairy King in the '90s when I arrived. Okay, who
I knew I wasn't tripping.
Who had a McDonald's in North Omaha? Brianna Fool says, I'm interested in tax abatement policy. LB 1024 is going to bring a lot of investment to North and South Omaha, which will make property values increase. Some low and middle income people will not be prepared the higher taxes, the property taxes, because of it. We need options to help people pay their property taxes. Good point.
Yes,
very good point. Yeah, appreciate that. Also, let's see. When Kimmer says there used to be a Dairy Queen back in the day, that strip was jumping.
Man, it was. It was.
Yeah. Josh Tate says there totally was a Dairy King. Somebody had a doggone McDonald's out here. That's funny. Oh, Manny Fresh, yes, it was. Talking about it was jumping. Katie L gives us a good morning and grateful to be here with you. Thank you very much for you joining us as well. Wanda Lewis says you can live on the upper levels, eat, and go to the doctor on the main level, one stop. I mean, I like that kind of living. There's not a whole lot of it in North Omaha, but you know, I'm just anxious to see what's going to happen, what they're going to do. Carolyn Jack says, I was just greedy. Timeout Burger and Dairy Queen Malt. Wants to see. That would be my stop too, for real. Miss Erica Feld says, my oldest was assigned a Big Brother. Shake my head. It was horrible. Oh man, he was very uncomfortable coming into Cherry Hills. It had a savior slant, and once my son started to bond with him, his wife got pregnant, so he dropped out of the program. Oh wow.
Oh man.
The dark side of
right. Definitely sad to hear that, but I'm thinking along the lines of what you were saying, Paul, as far as the lack of programming for young men. You know, you got the Boys and Girls Club, 100 Black Men, but beyond that, yeah, there's definitely a lot of situations that I could think of for young women more than young men.
Right. Hey, Miss Erica Feld, do us a favor. Reach out to Medicine Song. She's still trying to get in here and can't figure out how to be seen here with her messages. I'm not sure, but she just hit me up and said, give a shout out to Ernest Jackson, who today is his birthday. So,
hey,
birthday, Ernest Jackson, we're still on the send Ernest home tip for sure. If Miss Erica Feld, if you can't see her or reach her, let me know, and I'll try to figure out how to get her stuff seen on here as well. But just wanted to throw that out there before we jump into the conversation. We're here with our next guest. Again, if you're on Facebook right now, do us a favor, share the show. We definitely want everybody in the chat to be able to be a part of these conversations. We're going to have some conversations, and it'll be great. So share the show, and if you have some questions for Blue Snitch, then definitely get them ready. Jump them in the chat. Just before we get out of here, Kimmer Snipes says, same thing happened with my son. The son's big brother's wife couldn't have kids. Then she got pregnant and he left. Wow. So also, Mama God says, I tried to delete my comment. Oh, okay. She was trying to delete a comment. Got it. What I was saying was not prudent business decision to spend $4 million for timeout and adjacent land with effectively utilizing all the land to generate revenue. That most likely means that area is going to be significantly different from what it is today.
Oh yeah. Oh
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely feel that.
I mean,
Definitely feel that.
Spencer Projects right across the street. Like, yes, the writing's on the wall, man.
Whew. Okay, yeah, that's tough. That's real tough. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is that, man. I don't even know. Like, I talked to the folks that I know that might have the money to do it, and they're like,
Nah,
we don't
nah.
see it.
North
So,
Omaha, as we know it, is no more.
on
Just
that
have to
tip,
envision what a new North Omaha is going to look like, and will we be a part of it? And this is our opportunity to do that with the $450 million that's coming. But we got to get on it, y'all.
so true. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Blue Snitch. We're gonna take a quick break. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you, stay tuned.
Or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. Or the bullet. The ballot. Or the bullet. The ballot. Or the bullet. The ballot. Or the bullet. Since this is the year of the ballot or the bullet, we must understand the politics of our community. And we must know what politics is supposed to produce. And we must know what part politics play in our lives. Become politically mature.
Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Helping us become politically mature, like Brother Malcolm just said. You're listening to First Sky, and guess what? We are here with a special guest. We're going to bring our special guest in. Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. We call her Blue Snitch. Her name is Colleen Hinchy. It doesn't sound like we heard you yet. We're gonna see if your microphone is muted. You might be muted yet.
Maybe click that wheel at the bottom to check your settings. Okay.
Oh, she's on. Okay. So audio input. Sorry, there's no way for us to check the volume. I mean the audio when they're in the room like that. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, let's give it a little minute here and see if you can figure that out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So we'll have you off in the wings real quick, and if you can see if you can get into your settings and make sure your mic is on there, you should be able to see also the level. The levels will pump there when you get on it. Wanda Lewis says it was the headphones. Unplug and plug back in. They're giving you some advice. See, this is what the chat chimers do, man. They're a tech back and everything. So that's what's up.
I appreciate that because they could easily be just talking about us. Live situation.
They know it's live. They know they've been with us long enough to see this kind of mess happen.
Man,
just give us a thumbs up when you're ready over there, and we'll continue on. So anyway, just want to tell a little bit of a story about it. So we're on Twitter now, and we're trying to pump up the Twitter game. We find out that's where all the news heads go. That's where all the news heads are. So Leia Keister really is the one that got me, Princess Leia. I mean, not Leia Keister, Leia Princess Leia. What's Leia's last
Kate.
name? Yeah, yeah.
Kate.
Right. So she got me on Twitter because saying that a lot of the news people will do headlines and stuff like that there. So we've been spending more time putting stuff up on Twitter, and all of a sudden I started hearing a bunch of chatter going on about this person called Blue Snitch that was really calling out police brutality and stuff like that, which I thought was really insane. We were able to. At first, I was like, "This is like too good to be true." Are you kidding? Somebody's really ex police officers really kind of calling folks out. So went and read the thread. Talked to a bunch of people that were reading the thread. One of her constituents reached out to us and was like, "Hey, I heard you on the show today saying you'd like to talk to her," and so we were like, "Yeah, we absolutely would. Like that would be great." So we connected with her and came on. She just hit us up and said she's going to jump on another computer, jump on the iPad, so she should be here shortly. But looking through some of that stuff, man, I'm just like she's really calling it out, and we're talking about it in this age right now where we talked to brother Greg Gonzalez, his wife just sued the police, Schmatter and them, and won over being discriminated against and stuff like that. So there's a lot. We talked. We even have chat chimers that have sat in on some of these hearings, and they're just like the corruption is really kind of crazy. Like it's kind of scary. And so and we don't always get that because the question is, does the police, who polices the police?
Right.
And we all know that the police police the police, and so you're not going to get all the stuff. You're not going to get all the stuff all the time. Yeah, Katie L said this. That's Princess Leia. She's always up on the latest. She is. She really is. Out there in Rutgers doing her thing. So Linda in Chicago says she has a lot to say. I bet you have a lot of ghost listeners today. That's what's up. All right. Looks like she's all set up on the iPad. So let's go ahead and bring her back in. All right.
Am I good now?
Oh yeah.
We hear you now. How you doing?
All right. Good morning, guys. I'm not tech savvy. I'm a old lady.
It's all good. Just make sure you're sitting as close to your modem as you can. So if you're sitting on Wi-Fi on the iPad.
That's why you got RBG in the background. This is as close as I can get.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
I thought that was on purpose. That's what's up. Okay.
I'm a respecter, so I'm a woman. You got to respect women's rights fighters.
Oh yeah, you've got to. And actually, that's kind of how I wanted to set this up, if that's all right. Paul was kind of giving a little background on your story to the listeners before we came on, and I took the time to read through it.
Running around, so.
Okay. So still listening, still tuned in. So yeah, hopefully we did justice on kind of setting up the story and explaining, kind of the things that you're going through. But also, I'm reading your story more because again, this came to our attention through the Twitter post. But if you go to bluesnitch.com, there's documents and you kind of lay it out a little more there. And I wanted to tie it in because Anita Hill was just in Omaha to talk about gender-based oppression and discrimination. And then, of course, we know the whole situation with Officer Bel Castro Gonzalez. And now you coming out explaining that you also, as a woman, received some treatment, and some unsavory treatment, some bullying, you said. So again, this is definitely right on time. And I kind of want to go back. Where was the start for you as far as your retirement or even just starting this Blue Snitch page?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's a little convoluted and long, but for you as I can. So I actually started the page I left. I retired in good standing and with Distinguished Service Medal. I left because I had a bad Lieutenant Amy Otter. Tried to discipline her up in internal affairs, and they would not allow me to. They made me keep it call line investigation. And so then she messed up again, and I kept telling them she's like one call away from a DOJ complaint, and I'm not going to be part and parcel to that. And at that time, he was my lieutenant, and they said, "No, we're not going to let you do that." And I said, "Okay, if you're not going to let me discipline her, I'm not going to be part of the problem." And I walked out that day. I never went back. I said, "I can't do it. I'm not going to put my integrity." So, I also had some health issues, so I took some time off to get my. And what led to that was my retirement. I to a chief that I did not believe in, did not want to hear me about. Which, by the way, she ended up getting demoted for a pursuit within. I retired. Then she quietly limped out on a work and got reinstated as a lieutenant pension. So at this point, I'm a citizen. I go to a little bonfire. Officer Scott Orsi's there, and they're all bragging about how Ben Widener and Kurd got in trouble because Ben Widener got what I ended up finding out is Ben Widener covered a stolen phone from a kiosk at Walmart and took the phone and taking it and booking it down to property. He saw that there was a cute girl on it. And so he took it to his friend, Mike Kurd, up in internal or up in the ditches, the ones who opens your phones. And he attempted to illegally to try to find out who this girl was because he thought it was cute. How old's the girl? Does she know that you illegally searched her phone? Mouth dropped. I was like, what? And then, like, Widener, I confirmed through personnel orders, through FOIA requests, that Mike Kurd got 3 days as last time I checked, working up in that unit. Still, they put him back up there, and I need to move him. So I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. So I and posted Blue Snitch, and that was in 2019. And
Colleen, before we go on, I wanted to catch you at a little natural break there. You're kind of going in and out.
Yeah.
It's
man, I really need to tell this story for you, and I want to do it right.
Do me a favor and go. If you have anything else open on your iPad, that'll affect your in and out as well. So close all programs.
I don't. Hold on.
Okay, she's going for it again. All right, sorry about that, folks. We definitely want to get her cleared out here on this. So yeah. Okay, yeah. Here's okay, you're back.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have the best I can on this.
Yeah, no, you're doing.
Can I call in just via over the phone?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna suggest. Look, I'm gonna give you my personal number here. We'll just give me a call, and we'll do it that way. And don't feel bad. This happens. This happens to us. It happens a lot. This is not
you know about the internet.
Yeah.
I retired. I didn't have to do Zoom, so.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
I'll call you.
Yeah, give us a call. All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
Josh taking the chat says her story does not surprise me at all. So many people abuse their power. It's despicable. Yeah, man. It's it's tough. Buddy is putting up the picture of the Blue Snitch website. So this is the site here. I think it's just called bluesnitch.com, right?
Yep. Just bluesnitch.com. She has a disclaimer, which I do appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. And it got a wall of shame up.
Yeah, she's calling them out.
Yeah. So we'll wait for her to give us a call here. Linda Chicago says, can she hang up and call? Yeah, call back. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
Yep, she's calling now.
Yep. Hey, this is Paul. Can you hear me?
I can. Let me mute that. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
I am so sorry, guys. I am retiree, first time Zoomer, or first time I didn't have to do all that.
Hey,
So.
we're all first time Zoomers. You know, like I said, we all go through this. This happens to us at least once a week with a guest, so don't worry about it.
Well, this story is important, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard it. So
absolutely. Appreciate that so much, and appreciate you taking the time this morning as well. So,
and I'm a speed talker, so let me know if I need to slow down.
Oh no, you're good now. You were too fast for the internet, is what happened. So that's the. Linda in Chicago says she's really brave. Kimber Snipes says Department of Justice DOJ. She's talking to you guys. They're talking to each other here. If you have any questions or anything, please join us in the in the chat. We'll read these out to her over the phone. And so really appreciate everybody that's chimed in. Josh Tagg is saying one time when I was bailing my pops out of jail, and one of the 20s was a counterfeit. Had no idea, believe it or not. The police that were holding me started just shooting the breeze, and one of them pulled out a crack pipe that he holds onto and that he uses to plant on people he thinks needs to get off the streets.
Man,
they did all that in front of you, Josh. That's crazy. Sprinkle a little crack on them, like Dave Chappelle said.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I'm back in my office. I'm back in my office too, so I can read those comments as well. I'm kind of
okay.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
So
sweet. Well, let's get back to your story. So you were talking about a police officer that stole the phone. Basically stole the phone that had a young girl's picture on it that he thought was cute, and he was kind of reaching out there, and you came across this and was like, "Yeah, I'm not having none of this."
Yeah, they were bragging about it, like around the campfire. And as a woman and an ex-cop, I was like, you just admitted to this large group of people that you illegally searched a phone in order to get a date? They did? And I was like, what? And so I started to do FOIA requests, which is the Freedom of Information Act request through the city's website. And they just refused to give me any answers. So I put up Blue Snitch. I felt it was that important that I'm still trying to track that girl down. I could never find out what phone. So they're not required to let her know that her rights got violated. And and that's what started the website. I just couldn't stand by and not do anything.
When did you start the website?
In 2019.
Yeah.
It's been out there. I just learned Twitter. So that's the problem.
Oh, okay.
The website's been out there for a couple years. Yeah.
But you weren't really spreading the word on it until just recently. What?
I reached out to media. I reached out to I reached out to a couple radio stations, Omaha World Herald, Lincoln Star Journal. I mean, I did everybody I could think of, and they just kept telling me no. But
did they give you reasons why?
But he's asking, did they give you reasons why they didn't respond?
Oh yes.
Oh,
I have those all in writing. They're all legal letters from the city saying that it's a private matter or it's investigative or we are going to charge you $1,500 to do a database for you to get that information. I mean, every excuse that they could do to wear you down.
What did the media? What did the excuse the media gave for not running your story?
I got ghosted.
Wow.
I didn't get any
response. That tells you a lot, man.
Could you, buddy? Say again.
I'm just saying that tells you a lot. Like just the fact that, again, an officer, trying to speak up about these things, it doesn't get listened to. What does that say about the average everyday person who's trying to speak up, about their treatment? And somebody mentioned in the chat that you are brave. And I wanted to hear more about what your lieutenant was doing that caused you to, like, what treatment were you receiving from your lieutenant that first caused you to want to move it up the chain, and then after nothing was done about it, to break what you're calling on your website the blue shield effect, which I'm happy for an officer to acknowledge that is a real thing. Like, we outside the police department feel like the blue shield is a real thing, to protect bad officers, but someone from inside is saying that. So what made you want to break the blue shield?
Because first of all, she would slough off at work, and she's going to be probably on Twitter and saying I'm lying, but what I learned in the Kathy Gonzalez trial is that they keep every email captain level above. So please feel free to pull my email records and share those regarding Amy Otter. I have no problem with that. And what happened was she just wasn't a good lieutenant, and she wasn't what I wanted for the city as a lieutenant. And so I asked her to do her job. And at one point, I show up on Monday. I'm getting a call from the Northeast lieutenant mad at me because his sergeants had to cover the city again because we were short staffed. And again, that is an issue. We need good cops. We need more cops. And he's like, no one was here. Amy did not have supervision or any command. She left a quarter of the city uncovered by command.
Wow.
So I just could not do that. It was complete dereliction of duty. It was complete insubordination, and I wrote her up for it. And they refused to take it to internal because they just wanted her to have a reprimand. So if you keep it a line investigation, if you just keep it like under the chain of the command of that officer, which I was her direct command, and I was the one doing it, I said, okay, then it's already done. You will not let me get any farther, like a suspension or days off, multiple days. And they just refused and made me give her a reprimand.
I hear about that a lot. I'm not surprised that you're saying that, but it is still shocking sometimes to hear the way that they, they don't run it. It's police department is a company, but they don't really run it like that. Like it would go up the chain further. It would things would stick a little bit better, but they're always working something around that cuts the legs off of people sometimes. So I'm not surprised to hear that. Just want to jump in the chat real quick. There's a couple questions going on. Kimber Snipes says, I'm surprised that the DOJ hasn't stepped in with everything that's happening. What has to happen for the DOJ to step in?
Well, that's where it gets tricky, because I even attempted to go to the DOJ. And I went to the ACLU. I went to everybody. I pounded the streets for 2 years trying to get somebody to hear me. You have to have a civil rights violation. And so in order, like rudeness and all those simple IA charges, it's like, we're going to have to prove that. Well, then I was trying to find the girl that had the phone, and it's like, we have to have the civil rights violation in order for the DOJ to come in.
Mm-hmm. Brianna Full says, what do you feel like the fix is to the corruption in OPD?
Well, I'm calling for transparency, because and especially with the Brady Giglio list, because Brady Giglio is a court decision that determines that all evidence must be turned over to from the prosecution to the defense side on all witnesses if it will impeach them, which means they are deemed unreliable, because that also includes officers. So I have the Giglio policy, and I can share that with you from the police department. They have their own policy regarding how to form the list, how you're informed, and how to deal with that. And so I want them to share the Brady Giglio list to start. That's easy. If you've been deemed unreliable, why are you still on the street? One.
Good question.
Two, everybody needs to know about demotions and firings and why. Those are important. Share that. You're paying for them. Don't you want to know what's going on with your employees? I think so. So it's like just transparency. Post the same numbers that you have to report to the crime commission down in Lincoln. Share everything. They know about it. They track it. They're just not sharing it. And that's where I want them to start.
Speaking of that, really quickly, this is a report that we didn't speak about, but it's been reported that not only are the police not reporting or being transparent with the public, but I think the FBI recently called out the Omaha Police Department for not reporting as they're supposed to as well.
Yes, under federal guidelines, they're supposed to report the domestic violence numbers, and they were not, and why they weren't, I don't know, because So I was, believe it or not, in charge of the racial profiling numbers, and I was the one that had to compile all those.
Ooh.
And so when I know, you see, like if you look at my street cred list and see where I worked, and I'm willing to talk. So look at where I worked. And so they put me in all these jobs they thought that I wouldn't do anything with, but they gave me the underbelly. So, but I'm sorry, got a little off track on that one. But what was the question? I'm sorry.
Well, she was just asking what do you think let me get back to the question.
The transparency part, yes.
Right,
and the
right.
DOJ numbers, yeah.
So
just show them what you got behind the curtain.
Man.
So we've talked to Brother Senator Terrell McKinney, put some respect on his name, about the Brady list that he wants. He's also pushing for this in legislation to see that. What's striking me right now about this is that we always talk about Chris Bowling of the Reader said something about he said, who's policing the police, and we always use his phrase. And we always hear about these internal investigations. We also hear, this is an internal thing. You can't get any information sometimes. And they actually do have these investigations. It's striking me right now that they actually do have these investigations. They actually do rule on things. They actually do suggest disciplines. They keep a record of infractions. They actually kind of do a lot of this stuff that we're talking about. Independent organizations come in and do. The problem is that they do it and then they keep it to themselves. They don't show anybody anything.
Because Todd is a vain man. He is a vain man. He just worries about what everyone thinks.
What's right? The optics.
Because all the work's done below him, and then we just give him the reports and he reads it. So he's not. He's vain, and he just cares about how he looks. And to me, he doesn't look very good.
He doesn't.
I love the police. I love my brothers and sisters in blue. I want. Here's the deal: we need cops because there's mostly the underserved communities is where the most crime happens, and we need to do a better job at it. And we're needed, and I love them, but man, get rid of the bad ones and be transparent. Because look if there's a mirror holding up, do you think that the blue line is going to keep getting moved? No, because we're transparent. So you're going to be held accountable to the policies and the procedures that are already in place. That's all I'm asking for. Do your job and do it by the policies that are in place.
Right.
And then if you don't do it, again, I wasn't perfect. I know that. I'm not. I'm human. It's just like, we're just human. And we can have a bad day and be rude to somebody. We're not invincible. We're not. But I just accountability and transparency. That's all I want.
I think that's excusable, but as the public, I think we can understand that officers are human. But I do think the hiding of things is not excusable. And to your comment about Todd being vain, I just want to say, hearing all of this is kind of interesting because the vanity of that the Omaha police have been pushing. We're the gold standard. We're the top. We don't need any reform. We're the top. If all of this is coming out about the top, what does it say about the rest?
Over on YouTube, Ghost Listener 402, who I have a strong feeling is Mayor Sanchez, says, any help from former cop politicians? Was that a question, bro? Any help from former cop politicians? Let me know if that was a question. Also, Miss Erica Felt says because their own is on that list. Yeah, the Brady list is a reason why they don't want to share that out. But it just is striking me today that they do. We always ask for independent investigations and stuff like that into police brutality and so on. There's actually reports being done within the police department. That's a start. It's probably not everything, but it's a start. And if, at the very least, if we can be able to see that or read that, or other departments be able to see it if they're trying to hire them, that's a definite start for sure. Also, Josh Take is asking, did they ask her to fudge the racial profiling data? Did you ever been asked to move some data around there?
No, but what would happen, so on the old system, we just filled out paper tickets like cards, like the test you used to do with the bubbles.
Yeah.
And so the data is accurate, but only to the point of what cards were turned in. Does that make sense? So if no card was turned in, I can't put, because the data was all independently scanned into a computer, and it literally was just generating the bubbles. And so what it comes down to is the data is accurate based on what information we had to work from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you were required under policy to do a traffic stop data card for each traffic stop, but you're also supposed to hit out for each traffic stop. So again, that data, up until the point we switched to the electronic reporting, because that's kind of what I was hinting at there. I was in charge of that database, and when we were building the new computer system and the new reporting system is all electronic, I made them do a automatic field entry anytime you did a traffic stop. So we were actually catching the data. So if you look from the year we did the old paper ones to the year we switched to electronics, there's a huge jump in the data because it became mandatory that they fill that portion out. And so then that data, and again, it's all what they're reporting. So, but that's why I don't understand why DV did not build that into their reporting system, because then it should have been able to track that information and put it into any form they want, and then just head it down and send it down to whoever needed, which was the federal side. So
I'd like to get to some of the meat of this issue with you, because of the fact that you're speaking out. We all know, we all are in fear of your safety. As a matter of fact, Erica Felt in the chat says, "How do you support yourself? I'm concerned for backlash against you." Definitely want to hear about the backlash that you've had. We were using Blue Snitch because we didn't know if you wanted to even use your name, but you have been. I saw that you have been putting your name out there. Even on the Twitter post that I saw first had your name. They know. So you know, we kind of all are antsy to jump to this question. How is it that you're feeling or dealing with backlash? Are you getting backlash? Are you in fear of your safety when you put these things out?
And can you add in the harassment charge against Michelle Bang with that answer?
I will gladly talk about that harassment charge against Michelle Bang. And we could talk about the 15 cease and desist orders that I got from the union. That was not like I got threatened with legal lawsuits. I got threatened with I get called disgruntled a lot, and I find it funny because if you look at the definition of disgruntled, it means like angry, and it's like, yeah, I'm disgruntled. You guys should be disgruntled too. Todd is not doing his job. You know, I'm not disgruntled as an employee. I'm disgruntled as a citizen. It's like, geez, you know, it's like, of course I'm disgruntled. I just happen to know all the secrets. So, no. So how did I do it? Oh, dude, I'm not gonna lie. There was I got a big knot in my stomach the minute I posted that website, and then I got a bigger knot when I got threatened with lawsuits. And then somewhere I took a deep breath and I said, I'm all in. And I kind of, to be honest, James Baldwin, like the person you should fear the most is the person who has nothing to lose kind of type thing. And it's like, there's nothing that they could take from me that I wouldn't give freely, because I felt that strongly about it. So I wrote a letter. I'll share it with you guys. And I told them that I'm all in, and either sue me or come after me or don't. And so I've just been living my life, and I do think the helicopter might hover above my house a little bit more often now, but
move north.
Other than that, I just know I'm not going to get any tickets, which I wouldn't want to, but
okay.
But
so you live in black. You live in black now these days. I understand.
Yeah, man, I know what those propellers sound like for sure.
What I think I'm most sad about is sorry, I miss my friends.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people disown me, but that was the hard part.
Man.
But I'd rather stand alone and sleep well at night than even with somebody who doesn't support me.
So your friends that were in the department, because you basically crossed that blue line, did some disowning, huh?
It's more about, it wasn't bashing. It was just more like, I can't be a part of that. They kind of just wanted to, and I respect it. It's my drama. It's not their fight. This is my fight. And I don't expect anyone else to fight this fight, but man, I just kind of wish they would have wanted to.
Well,
they didn't want to, and I respect that. That's their opinion, and that's their right. So, very, very nice, very lovely people, but just didn't want to go on the journey with me, which was the disappointing part.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. Yeah. This is more important. Like I said, I sleep well at night.
Man, thank you. Just thank you. Yeah, I can't really say much more beyond that. Just thank you. It takes a lot of courage to do what you do. Which is kind of why I want to push back to what you just said about it's not their fight. But I'll just leave it at, just thank you for crossing that line and stepping from behind the blue shield. And I wish more officers would do that, because it's not just your fight, it's all of ours.
Yeah, I always kind of said, to wrap up, I always said that, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, it's unfortunately we do have to say that. We do have to say, especially in those circumstances, we always talk about people in the police department need to stand up. That they talk about these bad apples, then they need to speak up about when those bad apples are doing bad apple things. So, but even people like you who are retired from the police department, are still don't really do a whole bunch of speaking up about their time there and their experience and what happened. And so, yeah, you're kind of doing a very extraordinary thing, to the point where when I first read the post, I was like, this can't be real. This ain't real. I was very much like, didn't think that this was a deal. And that's one of the reasons why I said on the show, like, we love to speak to her, let's reach out. Because we want to hear that. And you're coming in at this particular point in time when we're talking about this. When we first started this show, one of the big cases that happened was the Bear Hill story. And within that Bear Hill story, you got some insights on that. I definitely want to hear that. But before you get there, I just want to say our viewpoint was that Schmatter did some disciplining there, and at the behest of the police union, the pushback from the top and from the union made it so that those cops went back to work underneath Schmatter. And we thought, man, that's tough when you have fired somebody and now the powers above you have pushed them people back into your organization for you to have to, what kind of teeth do you have at that point? And kind of felt like, on the surface, it looked like he was kind of doing his thing. And we were kind of a little bit on, I wouldn't say on his side so much, but a little bit understanding of what it was that he had to go through. And then over this course of the last year and a half or so, it's just been one story or another over some weird stuff, over some stuff that now you're saying he's a vain person. He probably thinks this show is about him. He's so vain, but it's not. It's what it's about is us saying, us looking at him like he's a cat. He's in the police department. He's covering up stuff. There's some corruption there, and of course, what happened with Miss Gonzalez. Mrs. Gonzalez is another huge thing. Kimber Snipes says it's their fight. I'll say it. They have policies and procedures to follow, which you just said. So now here we are talking to somebody who is a retired police officer that is really speaking up loudly about some of the stuff that's been going on. And I can't say we're surprised, but we are surprised. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that Todd is let me summarize Todd in one meeting I had with him. I spent 17 years as the mental health coordinator for the police department. I think I got over $10 million in grants. I was the one that started that behavioral health wellness unit, and I was the one that got licensed mental health practitioners here to help people, which everybody should use. I encourage that. If you get a radio call and you're having a mental health issue, please ask them to have the crisis response team come out. They're mental health professionals. They're not law enforcement, and they can help you. But I walk in with an award that I won and for the city for all my years of work. And he took it from my hands. He goes, "Oh, thanks." Turns around and sticks it on the shelf. Takes it from me, and then I just like, okay, bye. So my award's still sitting in his office. Let's just be clear.
Oh my goodness.
So
Wow.
that's Todd.
Wanda Lewis is asking, what do you think about Omaha police resource officers in schools?
Oh boy, to be honest, I'd have to gather my thoughts on that, because it's like there are so many issues. I think that there could be good things, but there are definitely bad things, because cops should not be coming to the classroom because somebody doesn't want to read a book, or should not be called for doing that. Like, we're not the policy enforcers for Omaha public schools. Like, that shouldn't, like, it just seems like it enters. What do I want to say? It's like, why do we need that? That shouldn't be an issue where police are responding. Shouldn't we be sending a social worker or somebody to help the children mental health wise if they're acting out? I guess that's that's what I would do. That's what I would have done as a mental health person. So, but there's also violence in schools. You want those kids to be safe. So there's that balance of, I think if we had better definition and boundaries of what our roles were in the schools, but I also think that schools need to be protected. So that's a very tough issue that's above my pay grade at this moment.
Yeah, that's a really good answer, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot there with that question. I really like how you started that question off, that you would need some time to gather your thoughts. You can always do that with us, gather thoughts. We can always continue conversations later. You can come back on the show for some of these things that some of the chat chimers are asking, and so on and so forth. But like, really appreciate you just coming on, telling your story, and getting the word out about your website. Definitely go check her website out. It's just, what's it called? Just blueshield.com.
Bluesnitch.com.
I'm sorry, I said shield. Bluesnitch.com. Yeah. One more question that we talk about this a lot all the time, which is about qualified immunity. A YouTube chat chimer is asking, what do you think about qualified immunity? If that's another one of those ones that you need to gather your thoughts on, we can talk about it another time. But
yeah, that's a deep one that I wouldn't feel comfortable just chiming in on that one.
Yeah,
that's understandable.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have you back and talk some more at your leisure. So if ever you want to do that,
I'm available. I literally my only thing is to make a difference for Omaha and have transparency, and I'd love to meet about legislation, and I want to move things forward so that they're permanent and not just changes from chief to chief. Because again, it's not that I don't like OPD, I just don't like the person who's holding the position of power right now.
Yeah, I hear you. We want to thank you for it's news to my ears that you were the one that helped put the mental health practitioner in place there. We thought that was a great program, and thought that we need more than one. I mean, I remember hearing that they only hired one at one point, and we were like, we need more than that. So
we actually have one in each precinct now, and they were, last time I checked, we're hiring a juvenile specialist.
Oh, great!
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Glad to hear.
Well, I'm here for you guys anytime you want me back on. Just hit me up, and I'll be here.
Oh, we really appreciate that. We absolutely will. Hit us with a last word. Anything else that you wanted to make sure that you got out to our listeners here before you get out, before you leave?
No. I just am here as a resource to the community. I am only one person, and I have some older family members I take care of, but I'm here to respond, and I'll try to get back to you in a timely manner if you reach out to me on my website.
Appreciate it. Kimra Snipe says, thank you for what you do, Colleen. I'll continue to lift you up in my prayers. She says, great segment. Ariel's 402 is very happy with it. Says, thank you for not operating in fear as well. We often say it here. First Sky Omaha's whole aesthetic is news gang. That's what you got to be. You got to be gangster to tell the news these days. One of the most gangster things you can do to be a truth teller, to be a whistleblower. And we treat it that way. So we do the best that we can to protect whoever it is that is speaking truth and speaking truth to power as well. and we'll always do everything for the safety of people that do that, because that's something that news has been leaving out, is the security and protection of the people that tell the news, that say the news, that tell the truth. We got to kind of gang up on that situation. So we really appreciate you doing what you do, and let us know how we can help as well. We'll definitely have you back and talk more on it. And that's my final word on it. Buddy, you have any final words there?
No, definitely looking forward to having her back. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us this morning. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and just how brave you are, because people are locked up. People are no longer with us because of the work that you're doing. So as Paul mentioned, whatever we can do to help you, we're here for that. Please, y'all, go check out bluesnitch.com. She's not only giving her story, her side of it, but she has documents attached with that. So definitely go check that out as well. And that's all I have.
Marianne Williams says, thank you, Blue Snitch, for your willingness to be a part of the solution after identifying the problems. That's what's up.
There you go.
Fist up. Thank you so much. Yep. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. There you have it. Sorry about the technical difficulties there, but, as long as we get the story, that's all that matters. So there you go, Blue Snitch. Man.
That's heavy. There's a lot of gems in that one. That's heavy.
It's kind of a trip. Heavy is a good word. Yeah.
But I'll say this. You kind of called it with the conviction of the George Floyd murderer. As far as a crack in the blue shield, a possible changing of the tide. You don't see this often, man.
It's true.
And it's sad, but we just basically, got a little confirmation of what we all believe to be so. Now we're hearing it directly from the source.
Hearing a lot. We haven't really dove into a whole lot of some of the actual accusations and stories and stuff that she's even really talking about. We just are talking about kind of the overall idea that here's a retired police officer that's telling telling the stories.
We have now Belcastro Gonzalez, future Sheriff Gonzalez, and former Captain Hinchy. If they're getting treated like that, what chance do we have?
That's what Brother Gonzalez said. He said they messing with us in the police department like this, us high-ranking officers, then what are they doing with everybody else? That is the question.
Again, that's 3 officers now that we know of.
Wanda Lewis says she definitely did not make it political. Nothing but truth. There you go. We'll definitely have her back. We'll stay tuned. We'll be right back. We'll take a quick break and come back and do a few of the haps here. Get your haps together. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chimers, stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. Almost at the end of the show, so we're just going to jump right into a few haps that's going on. Let us know about some haps that's happening with you too. I got a good morning from Zane. Good morning, buddy. How you doing, man?
Good dude.
We'll see you soon, my man. And I'm going to come over there and bang on them drums a little bit too pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Really appreciate everybody that's joined into the chat. Linda in Chicago says Jean needs to go. She's in bed with them and won't do anything either. And you let our kid tell it. She's really in bed with Anyway, 402 says, have a blessed weekend, First Sky fam. Appreciate you. Zane says he loves you, everybody. Oh, that's sweet. We love you too, little man. Miss Erica Felt put the meal train in there to keep her teenager going. That's right. Teenagers need that food. I appreciate you dropping that meal train. I meant to do it earlier and forgot. Meal train definitely help out Miss Erica Felt during this tough time. She's really battling through it like a soldier, man. Still
Yeah.
holding things down. But yeah, please donate to the meal train as well. Also, Wanda Lewis in the chat put her Cash App in. You can directly help her that way as well, and help her with whatever she needs help with. Like I said, don't think you got to drive everywhere and do stuff. Call people for a ride if you need it and all that good stuff. Let them know. Let us know. So Meal Train is right there in the chat. If you are a friend of First Sky Omaha, a chat chimer, or a ghost listener, please help us help Miss Erica Felt. Go ahead and donate a meal. You can bring something to her. You can have something ordered for her, or you can go ahead on Meal Train also and just donate cash so she can go ahead and keep that rent up and keep everything up that needs to be until she can get back on her feet and back to work. She takes care of the babies. It's one of the most important professions in the world ever, and we want to make sure that she keeps on doing it because she does a great job. So that's what's up. Kimra Snipes, man, we can't wait to talk to you Wednesday. What's good in the hood?
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about now. We're gonna be talking about this all weekend. I can tell.
Yeah, that was heavy.
Very
That was
heavy, very heavy. Just to throw a few haps out there. Don't forget that there is a big brunch happening on Sunday at the Benson Theater, October 23rd. Messenjix. We want to make sure that we get some people out there to really support Mary. She's a friend of First Sky Omaha, friend of the fam, friend of everybody. And you know that signature Messenjix sound is unmistakable. She's the Sade of Omaha, Nebraska, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
we're gonna get down with that JoJo's Sunday brunch at 10 o'clock over there at Benson Theater. It's only $25, man. So come on through and have a mimosa with me and we'll chill out. Definitely want to definitely want to say that. Also, once again, Brother Ernest Jackson, his birthday today. So they wanted to make sure that we gave him a shout out. We still trying to send Ernest home.
Yeah.
So the fight is still continuing on there. So definitely about that. Also, Halloween is not a Dia de los Muertos. Please stop trying to blur the lines. Definitely want to say that again. This is not Halloween. Halloween, they have a very, even if you're not a part of their religion or their culture, it's an important day for their culture, and we should not be mixing the commodification of Halloween and everything into that. So remember that as well if you can. Keep that in mind for sure. Buddy, any other haps that we need to make sure that we let people know about real quick?
Yeah, brother Josh Tag is in the chat, says hit me up for comps to the symphony this weekend.
Oh.
It's gonna be fire.
Yeah,
So yeah, big shout out to the Omaha Symphony putting in that work again. Montgomery and Beethoven 3.
Yep, sir. Man, Josh. Woo. Yeah, we gotta definitely check this out, man. So much going on. It's another one of those weekends where too much is going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's so much going on. So Manny About Town, of course, was talking about the tree planting that can happen kind of earlier in the day on Saturday, but later on that night, if you're not going to come to other shows that's going on, like for instance, Nightshade that's happening October 22nd as well, which is going to be over at the Starlight Chateau. Shout out to Dewan Lamont Hayes who's put this together and done a really good job of putting this together. It's going to be a really dope night, actually. So you just one of those times you got to kind of make up your mind what it is you want to do here.
Man, a lot going on.
Lots going on. Even on Saturday night, there's also Welcome to the Overlook, the Shining. It's an immersive Shining experience that's happening over at Benson Theater. So, if you're already on to the Halloween tip, then go check that out as well. What else you got, buddy?
Yeah, also shout out, it is campaign season. Dave Ponto's Day of Action with Preston Love and Brenda Council. That's going down Sunday, October 23rd at 2 p.m. That's at 5015 Dodge Street. Again, that's 5015 Dodge Street. That's a day of getting the message out in support of Dave Pontos. Again, he is running against Don Klein for the county attorney seat. So again, yes, that is going down October 23rd. Day of Action with Dave Pontos. And then also speaking of the symphony, Paul, I know you went to this event a couple of days ago, is the Malcolm X conversation. You sent me a few pictures of that. If you missed that event, there is another opportunity to join that conversation coming up on the 25th. That's this upcoming Tuesday at 7 p.m. Again, the history and context of Malcolm X, Brother El Haj Malik El Shabazz, in preparation and in partnership with Opera Omaha for the main stage production. So again, that will go down Tuesday, October 25th at the Benson Theater for the second X of the Life and Times of Malcolm X opera and conversation. Just quick, how was the first one, Paul? Was that good turnout?
Man, it was awesome. They had a good panel up there that talked about, it's a black man who put this thing together back in the day, and he had and it was all black cast. You know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful thing to see. Them talk about what went into this thing. So we'll have another conversation coming up, like you said, at Benson Theater, and then the play is actually November 4th and 5th. Mm-hmm. So the opera, excuse me, is 4 and 5th. The only other opera I've ever seen was Phantom of the Opera one time, a long time ago. I am definitely going to go check this out. So definitely go check out the Life and Times of Malcolm X opera. There's going to be, there's a choreographer, there's going to be dance. There's somebody that's playing Ella Fitzgerald. He's singing songs. It's going to be off the chain, man. So
full production.
Full production. Check it out. You're in Omaha. You're doing some of the things there is to do here on the level of going to the Culture House to do some things, because Culture House got a lot of stuff going on as well. But also on the level of going to the symphony, the opera, the other end of the spectrum. Sometimes definitely check it all out, because it's all happening. It's all going down.
There you go. Terry Sanders, Leo Lewis, Melvin Muhammad, and Joanna LaFleur, Ijiki. Now, congratulations. Will all also be the speakers at this event. So definitely check it out. Join the conversation. And with that, that's all I got.
Right on. We're gonna get out of here. We're running late. Thanks for hanging with us. And let me just make sure that we got everything else. Yep, got everything. That's about it. Everything else, definitely go check out Friends of First Sky Omaha, and we'll put those things in there. Thanks for all the ghost listeners that came through to hear what Blue Snitch had to say today. That's what's up. Join the show, join the channel, join Friends of First Sky Omaha, and you can also put a notification on Facebook as well for anytime we're on air. So definitely do that at the main page of First Sky Omaha, the Facebook page. And do that. We are on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 9 every week. This is coming up. The season 4 is about to, but it's getting cold out here. Every time it does, I'm like, oh, the season is about to come up. So
already.
Yeah. So really appreciate everybody. Wanda Lewis says, thank you for sharing information that affects our city and surrounding communities. I appreciate you recognizing us on that. Also, Erica Pell says, thank you. Stop using culture for decoration. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Once again, stop using culture for decoration. The Day of the Dead is not Halloween. Dia de los Muertos is not Halloween. So stop appropriating stuff all the time. Appreciate everybody that's come in. Ghost listeners give us a peace. And Erica Pell says, thank you for everyone for your kindness. Wonderful show. Drink water. Be good to yourself. Get yourself right with a little third eye water.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
And then you can keep the bottles afterwards.
Yeah, I've collected all mine for sure. So anyway, appreciate everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Anything that comes up that's happening over the weekend that you want us to know about, then please just go ahead and put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. That's where we are at when we're not live, and that we have a lot of good discussion over there and talk about good things that's happening in our community there too. So join Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page, and also hit the bell on the regular First Sky Omaha Facebook page and the YouTube page. And check us out on Twitter. Like I said, it's kind of going down on Twitter a little bit. So we'll see what's happening on Twitter more and more. Join us, join our page, like our page, all that good stuff. We're trying to build as many people and get as many people in this conversation as we can. That's the whole purpose of this. This show does not happen without you, the chat chimers, chiming in and having conversations with us. So we appreciate it. Brother Valentine says, stay safe, fam. Keep holding yourself and others accountable. We will do our best.
Yep.
Buddy, any last words for the people?
Man, just thank you. Big shout out again to former officer Colleen Hinchy for speaking with us, and definitely check out bluesnitch.com for more information and some of the documents that coincide with what she was talking about. But yeah, until next time, catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Again, thank you for joining us on this experience. Take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. Paul B, take it away.
In the morning.
Hey,
sing it this time. And don't forget, man, we're in that time frame right now. You can go down to your in-person voting at your county election offices, even right now before the election day, which is November 8th. It's going down. I already picked up the women's voters guide and been looking through it and checking through it. I'm gonna do some studying on the judges. I was very disappointed in there's a couple of races that are Republican that are candidate is just going to continue to be that because nobody has ran against them. Right. Doesn't have opponents in some areas. So they're definitely making a play. It's time for you to do that too. Make a play. Remember where we're at in this time of the year and what needs to happen here with the voting issues. So come on through. We need new blood. We need all that good stuff. So come on through. Don't forget, November 8th is the day. So you can do it early by going to your county election office and getting it done before that date, or gear up and get ready for November 8th. So just want to remind people of that. Just want to give a shout out to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And thanks to you, the chat timers, for allowing us to speak with you. Please tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, have them join the show. The more voices that we have here, the more opinions, the more facts being checked and everything else. It just makes and enhance the show. It makes for a better show. So thank you so much for that. We got definitely some special guests coming in next week. So stay tuned. Of course, Wednesday it'll be Women's Wednesday. Will be politicking with P and seeing what's good in the hood with Cameron Snipes. So Precious McKesson and Cameron Snipes in the house. And much more to come. So shout out again. Don't forget, it's all about freeing Ernest Jackson. Shout out to Ernest. This is his day. Send Ernest home. Help us do that. Stay on this. And then everybody else, man. I mean, it's 2022. This brother's not home. You know what I'm saying? Ed Poindexter's not home.
man.
We got people that are still sitting around in this system, and it's messed up. So help us in the fight of trying to make that change. With that said, have a great weekend. Sorry that we're getting out of here so late, but we will see you and continue this conversation on Monday. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the Red